Chapter 14 Bhasmasura 1. Bhasmasura was called by this name not when he was young but later. You could say he earned the title Bhasmasura. What a name! The first part of the word sounds as if you were breathing out a cloud of dust. Say it loudly a couple of times. Bhasma, Bhasma, and you will see what I mean. In any case, the word Bhasma means ash, so I am not far from wrong. The second part of the name, Asura, actually means demon, although thousands of years ago, before history itself was born, the word was used as a family name, rather like a surname. What did Bhasmasura look like? Did he look like a demon? Those of you who watch a lot of films might imagine that all demons have nasty faces, with hooded eyes or an ugly scowl or even horns on the top of their heads. You may not be right. You know, I have met a lot of people who are very pleasant to look at and even appear handsome, but turn out to be villainous. It works the other way too sometimes. There are people who are actually kind and warm, but who look as if they are waiting to cook you in hot oil. I think Bhasmasura may have been quite good looking, and since he loved to dance, he must have been slim and supple as well. In fact, when Bhasmasura was in his teens, it would probably have been very difficult to tell that he belonged to the Asura family. Apparently, he studied very hard, was extremely well behaved, and when he felt that he had learnt everything he could from his teacher at home, he went off into the forest to study some more. Why into the forest, you might ask? Well, you must remember that there were no universities in those days as you have now. So, Bhasmasura couldn't enroll in a college in some big city and become a doctor or an engineer or a teacher. Besides, Bhasmasura wasn't really interested in a career. He very simply wanted to be the most powerful person in the world. Now, doctors and engineers and teachers are powerful enough, but they are powerful only some of the time. You can be terrified of a teacher in the classroom, of a doctor in his clinic, and so on. But meet any of them in a cinema hall or at the marketplace, and you find they are quite ordinary people after all. Bhasmasura wanted to be the most powerful person in the whole world, which meant that he actually wanted to rule over both space and time. He wanted to live forever. Was he stupid? I don't know. Most of us have rather stupid ideas from time to time, but we grow out of them. But Bhasmasura didn't. In fact, he was so determined in his ambition that he worked mighty hard to make it happen. What did he do? Well, I am not quite certain, but apparently he hid himself away in the forest for years and years and prayed to the god of strength. He had such terrific willpower that he often went without food and sleep, standing in the heat of the sun, in the rain and in bone-chilling cold, praying. Not for one moment did he stop. Nothing distracted him, neither the sound of the birds nor the rush of the river, and not even his own tiredness. And finally, all that overwhelming effort got its rewards, as it always does. The god of strength appeared before Bhasmasura and promised him whatever he wished. We know what Bhasmasura wanted. It was very simple. He wanted to be the most powerful person in the whole world. Would the god of strength grant him his wish? But the god of strength had a question for Bhasmasura too. In what way do you want to be powerful? He asked. Do you want enough money to buy up the whole world, or do you want weapons so strong that nobody can defeat you in battle? But Bhasmasura wanted neither unlimited money nor limitless strength. In fact, he had worked out a plan that was breathtaking in its simplicity. Grant me just this, he told the god. Grant that nothing in the world can destroy me, but when I touch the top of anyone's head, that person should turn to ash, dust and ash. Are you sure this is what you want? Asked the god. Quite sure, said Bhasmasura. And so it was. From that day, this young demon who would never die himself could turn anyone he wished to ash with just the touch of his hand. And so he came to be called Bhasmasura.